everyone and welcome to Tracey's Cakes. My name's Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes, and tonight I'm going to be showing you how to paint some more of the Harry Potter cookie cutter sets that we've been selling since before Christmas. I've already been on here prior to Christmas and we did paint Hogwarts, and we also painted the Harry Potter crest, and we also did Hedwig. So we've been very busy just before Christmas. Christmas is now a long distance memory, and we're going to move on to some of the other characters that are available in this set, and we're going to do Harry himself tonight. We might as well start off with the main man, and I'm going to show you how to paint Harry tonight using the PME cookie cutters that we have got on our website. So you can see address up there at the moment, traceyscakes.co.uk. That's where you will find these cookie cutters that I'm showing you. A quicker way in is to go via this address here, which is letsshopcakelive.co.uk. That takes you straight through to the store, and you will be able to find all of these cookie cutters on there, which I will run through a couple of them in a minute. So we are running live off Facebook. We are also running off YouTube. So if you are struggling to get Facebook to hold, sometimes people have streaming issues with Facebook, you can also go onto my YouTube channel, which is coming up there at Tracey Mann Cakes. You can nip over to there and watch this being streamed out of YouTube as well. Once the live is complete, you will be able to go back and watch it as well. So if you do join me halfway through, you will be able to go back and watch it over there. So I will be here for the next hour or so sorting this out. So if you do want to have a look at what we're doing, then I will run through all of it. I can see very clearly on my Facebook page who is here, so do say hello. I can see Donna and Wayne so far. I'm sure there are lots of others you on here, but I can only see it when you write a comment, you see. So I can see Vicky now, you see, so that's how it all works. If you have any questions during the live, then I will go through it with you and answer as many as I possibly can. But for those of you that have already bought the Harry Potter cookie cutters, this hopefully will help you to be able to work out how to use them. I am confessing that I am painting this for the first time this evening because Kelly came home and threw me completely. So I haven't had much chance to practice this. So I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I have looked at it in detail, so I'm sure we will be fine. And we'll work our way through it. So we have already done, I've got a pile here. I can literally guarantee that if I pull this from behind me, it's going to end up on the floor, isn't it? So I'm going to be extremely careful. Here we go. These are all the ones we did before Christmas. So we'll have a little recap before we get going on the main things. So the Harry Potter cookie cutters, there are loads of them. There's a train, so the Hogwarts Express. There is also Hedwig. There is Hogwarts. There is, I'm looking over there now at them. Actually, I should do that. They're right in front of me. The crest, the dark mark, the logo, Harry, Ron, Hermione. Oh, there's so many of them. It's unbelievable. So let's have a quick look at the ones I've done so far. So there's Hogwarts there. So that's what these cookie cutters look like. They all look much the same. They are outlines like so, and then you imprint them like that, which gives you then the outline, and you can paint them like I've done, or you can just put them straight onto a cake. So you don't have to put them onto a back of sugar paste, onto a cookie. That one's on a cookie. You can just have them to go onto a cake. So if you're doing a Harry Potter cake, this works brilliantly, I think. They are quite big, so I'd suggest that they are not suitable for cupcakes because they would literally cover a cupcake. I'm going to tell you how big they are. I think they're 10 centimetres. Yeah, 10 centimetres seems to be the main size of these cookie cutters in one way or another. So that's 10 centimetres that way, that's 10 centimetres that way. They're all coming up at that sort of size. They're big cookie cutters, but they are lovely. They're really lovely. So I've done this one twice already. Look at me, I've got my own little Harry Potter shop going on here. And then I've done Hogwarts twice as well. There we go. So I did a practice run there. Let's move that up a bit. And then I did Hedwig, and I did Hedwig just before Christmas. There he is. And those videos are available to catch up online. So if you do want to go back and have a look at how I've done him, I did use a bit of royal icing on his feathers there just to make him look a little bit more 3D. And I made a little beak as well, just so it looked like he was actually holding the envelope. But if you do want to have a go at doing any of these cookie cutters, the videos are all available online. Either on my YouTube channel, or if you're very careful, you can go back and have a look through some of the lives that I've done on here, on this page here. So Harry is the main man tonight. Let me put these back out of the way. Let's move everything now. I'm keeping them all as I go because I think by the time I get to the end of it, I'll have quite a nice little display, won't I? So I'm working my way slowly through them, and I'm just going to carry on doing lives until we've done them all. So we've got a few more to go yet, but there we go. Right, oh, nearly an avalanche then, but not quite. So we're looking at Harry tonight. There he is. So Harry is part of a set of 3. The others that are in there, obviously Ron and Hermione. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm trying not to drop anything because they're all in pieces. There we go. There's Ron, I think. Is that Ron? Yeah, it looks like Ron. There we go. I'm not going to do them all. I'm just doing Harry tonight. Let's pop that in there. Right. Harry, Ron, Hermione. Yes. There she is. She's got lovely hair. So that's her there. So that's the 3 main characters. We're going to do Harry tonight so you can get a general gist on how he works. The Hermione and Ron will be the same, except they don't have the glasses, so they're probably going to be a bit easier. So I obviously always pick the hardest one. I don't know how I do it every time, but I've managed to pick the hardest one, but that's fine. So we're going to have a go at doing him. So again, as I said before, you can either do this as a cookie or you can do it like I'm going to do it tonight on sugar paste. So if you have a look over here, I've already rolled out some sugar paste. There we go. And I have popped that over the top of my sugar paste. I'm not going to do it next time because it will distort it. Take hold of that, press that down really, really hard, and then pulled it up until I have got a pattern, which you can see clearly on there. And that's what we're going to use as our painting guideline tonight. So it's nice, it's all set out for us, and all we have to do is paint it. Sounds so straightforward, doesn't it? Always riddled with something that's going to go wrong, but we'll give it a go. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. So we're going to have a go at doing Harry. Let's just turn that round there slightly. Right, I'm going to turn this around because I need to fit in my cocoa butter. In fact, yes, I'll leave that there for the moment. So I'm thinking I might bring this in. So I'm going to bring in my painting system. Let's see if we can fit that in as well. Hold on, we need to do a bit of readjustment here. Right, actually I'll tell you what we'll do for the moment. We'll take that out of the way and we'll bring in the painting side of things so you can have a look at that, and then we'll go from there. Right, okay, so this is what I use to do cocoa butter painting. So this is, let's take this down now so you can see. So this is a metal paint palette. So we've got these on the website as well, and we also include them in our beginners cocoa butter painting kits. And if you have a look under there, I've got a tea light that's lit, which is making this palette in turn warm. Now the reason we need it to be warm is so that we can put cocoa butter, which is what I'm getting out the packet now, onto the metal paint palette, and it starts to melt. So you can see before your eyes that it's starting to melt. There we go. All right. I'm going to pull my camera back a little bit in a second. Okay, so what's happening here is because the metal paint palette is hot, the cocoa butter's melting. That is going to be the liquid that we're going to be using to mix with the dusting colours that we've got in our palette that's in front of us. So we've got brown, we've got black, we've got egg yellow, burgundy, cream and white, and a bit of pink for tonight. So those are the main colours that we're going to be using tonight to paint Harry Potter. Okay, so we're going to use paint brushes that have got numbers on them. I could do this, hold on, there's me thinking I picked up 2 lots of the same one and I haven't. Let me grab another brush. So the paint brushes that I use, apparently all I've got is number 1s. No, I don't want all number 1s. There we go. Right, so the brushes here are numbered. That's actually meant to be a number 2, but because I literally do so much painting with number 2, the number's rubbed off, but I can see it's a paintbrush number 2, paintbrush number 1. So these brushes have got numbers on them. So when I teach my classes, because obviously I teach online, I'm going to put the school up at the minute so you can find the school. I do refer back to the paintbrushes. So the paintbrushes are available to buy, but when I teach my classes online, you will see me talking about these numbers. So number 1 and number 2, and then that will help you to be able to make sure you've got the right paintbrush in your hands. Now, in between the paints, we put the paintbrush into the cocoa butter and we just twist it just to make sure the paintbrush is clean and it's not holding any other colour. You can, of course, do this with water, so you can do this under hot soapy water at the sink, but obviously because I'm live, I don't want to keep leaping up to the sink every 5 minutes, so I just use cocoa butter and that does the job. All right, so let's move that over there to one side, take down the school address, bring Harry back. I think we'll leave him on the desk actually so we can see him nice and clearly, and I can get closely in with that as well. So there we go. Right, okay. So, any questions during the live, please let me know. Otherwise, I will be working my way slowly through Harry Potter painting. Right, let's look at mixing. So, first thing I'm going to do is I've got paintbrush number 2 here. I'm going to dip it into the cocoa butter. I'm going to grab a bit of black, like so. But I'm also going to grab some white as well, so that it's not completely jet black. So it's going to be like a very dark grey colour. When I paint it, it will look black, but it won't be. It will, because it's got the white in it. So we'll give that a bit of a mix, like so. Go. So what we're looking for is a consistency that you can paint with, that is going to dry in approximately, in UK country, 1 to 2 minutes. So I say UK country. If you're living abroad and it's a warm country, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry than it will be if it's in this country, especially this time of year. We're going to start with Harry's hair. So we're going to literally just take our brush and we're just going to go over his hair, which is marked. You'll be able to see it raised. Now we are going to have to go down some of the bits of his hair, because the way these cookie cutters are set out, we will need to improvise a little bit, and you'll see that as we go along. So we'll start with the bits we can see at the moment, and then we'll make changes as we go. So I'm using paintbrush 2. I'm just about getting away with it, but I may need to make some adjustments in a second, but we'll carry on for the moment, and we'll get Harry's hair down. So I'm trying to paint in the direction of what I think the hair would be. So I'm not going to be sort of just sort of imagining I'm brushing his hair really a little bit, aren't I? So I'm pulling the hair down, trying not to get black everywhere, but I've managed it already. If you make a mistake, you can always paint over it. So don't worry about that. Just keep going. Now I'm going to come right down here onto the cookie itself. Of course, Harry's got his little bit of lightning and everything that's got to go on his forehead, so there's quite a lot of detail on here, which is nice, and we will look forward to doing that as we go through this process. Go down there and we'll get his hair in place first. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on over there, but I think we'll go back and probably paint that in a minute. We'll see as we go what we need to do. It will become clear. We'll paint once we've found the, just see what the light's shining on there. I'm just going to turn this light. No, we need that light on. I was just seeing if that made any difference, but it doesn't. There we go. We'll muck about the lights until we can get the colour we need. Right, let's carry on. So this is actually dark grey, not black, but it looks black. All right, so when you look at it, you would think it's black, but it's not. It's just clever. So we'll come down the side here, like so. Right. So far, so good. Well, we'll leave it as we go along. We will keep changing it. There we go. All right, now, there is a lot of blacks and greys and that on here, because his sort of, I'm going to describe it, his school uniform is black and grey as well down here. But what I want to do is I want to make sure I get his sort of face colour in, so that I can just check that I've got his hair in the right position, because I'm just following what PME have given me at the moment, but I want to make sure that I've got that right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up my brush. So I'm going to dip it in the cocoa butter and I'm going to twist it and put it onto the kitchen roll. Like so. I want to make sure I've got all of that grey out of there, because the last thing I want to do is mix up a pale flesh colour to find that I've got grey in there, because then he's not going to look very well, is he? He's going to be Harry Potter has eaten something he shouldn't have eaten type look, and we don't want that. I want Harry Potter to look like he's actually okay. There we go. Right, let's have a look at the flesh colour. So what we're going to do, we've got 3 colours on here. We've got cream, white, and a very small amount of dusky pink. It is actually, it doesn't really matter, pink colour. And we'll start with a little bit of white, and the only reason I'm doing that is just to make sure I haven't got any grey in my brush, which looks like I've got away with it. Okay. And then pick up some of the cream. We'll mix that in together. Obviously we don't want to make that too dark, like so. And then the tiniest amount of pink. I've hardly put any pink in there, but just a little bit more white. Just lighten it up a bit more. And then hopefully this will give us a nice pale fleshy type colour. It's looking not too bad. Just a bit more pink. There we go. It's probably darker than I need it to be, which is very difficult because it always tends to show up when you start painting it. And I'm actually, in hindsight now, going to switch brushes, I think, to paintbrush. Yes, paintbrush 1. Because I've got to try and get into the little nooks and crannies. It's probably going to be easier with this smaller brush. So let's switch over to paintbrush 1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to paint across the area here. I'm sure that's a bit of hair. It doesn't look quite right to me, so I'm sure that will be a bit of hair. I'm going to paint over the glasses. I'm not going to worry about those or the eyes at the moment. I'm just going to paint over what I think it should be, and then we can go back and correct it as and when we need to. So that's the outline of his head, that part there. So we just need to make sure that we don't go over that line there, because we've got a bit of background painting to do. The paint's a bit thick, just add a bit more cocoa butter to it, and then hopefully that will make the paint go on a little bit easier. Like so, there we go. And then those are going to be his glasses. Now we're actually going to need to paint this part here, which is the inside bit of his eye behind his glasses. So that definitely needs to be that colour. I'm just going to paint the whole thing purely just for ease. I'm not going to bother to paint that centre bit because that's definitely going to be black. Just want to try and make it as easy as I can for myself. I want to make life too complicated. And down there. Across there. So you can see it's not the strongest of colours, but hopefully it should be coming up on the screen now so you can see it okay. As we're working our way across it. Yes, because you can see a contrast with the white, can't you? So we know you can see it. His eyebrows are very close to his glasses. That should be interesting. Oh dear. I'm sure it'll be fine. We will manage. Well, we've got to, haven't we? Because we're live now, so there's no going back now. And then we'll put some more up there. Let's have a look at him. You do get the best view, I have to say. When I'm painting it, I don't get such a nice view as you do. You get the nice view. Now his actual lines, I'm just checking that against that here. Yeah, so actually he comes out a little bit further. Comes out to about there. Now I think that could be the hair. Oh no, that's his ears. Yes, that's his ears there, look. So we need that bit in there. See, there's a bit we didn't even know was there. That's his ears. He's not going to be able to hear Voldemort approaching without his ears, is he? So we need to make sure we put those in. Right, let's just bring that down there. I haven't decided whether to bring the hair or the flesh down there yet. One or the other. See how we go. Anyway, that's the top of him at the moment. Now, the other thing to remember is obviously his hands are exposed, and they are actually this little bit down here. So we're going to need to paint a little half semicircle here. So let's do that. Just there. Because his school uniform is sort of in this bit here. So that's two sort of half semicircles there. So that's quite straightforward to do. And then you can move on from there. Right, so my next decisions. So what are we going to do next? We're going to paint the scarf, I think, because that's right on top of Harry himself, so I'm just extending that down a little bit to make sure it matches his scarf. Otherwise his head is somewhat detached from the scarf and that's not going to be much good to him, is it? So I'm now making sure that we have got that. Did they bring out Dobby? Do you know what? I don't think they did. I think that's the only one I've not seen. I wonder why they didn't do that. Maybe they thought it was too difficult, but I think the crest is quite difficult, so I don't know the answer to that. Maybe I need to look again. Maybe I've missed that one. I'll have a look. I don't think I've seen a Dobby, but you never know. Right, okay, so we're going to do his scarf and we're going to do it in two different colours. So we're going to do it in burgundy and we're going to do it in egg yellow mixed with, I wrote it down, hold on. There's my list, here it is. Egg yellow mixed with a bit of brown. So I made a load of notes before I came live just to make sure I could actually do this. So burgundy is here, so we'll grab that colour there. We'll stick a tiny bit of white in there. Just a comment on the white dusting colour. Just make sure that any white that you're using contains E171. So the European Union has now banned E171, but it is still available in the UK and it is what we use for cake painting. Until they come out with an equivalent that is as good, you need to be using E171. So please take a look at any white paste you've white dust that you've got and make sure it's got E171 in it. Right, so let's go for the scarf. Okay, so we'll start with, we'll do alternate squares, I guess. So we'll go another one there. Like so, it goes right under his chin. And then another one over here, like so. And then these come down here as well. So it doesn't really matter which one we do. We'll do that one. I think we're going to need to extend these out in a second. We'll see how we go. Otherwise this scarf isn't going to join up. So what we'll do is we will take hold of another paintbrush, number one, and we will use the other colour and see what it joins up like. Because it's a very high chance that we're going to have to paint around them. Right, so I'm just cleaning up this brush just to check there's no other colours in there, which of course there is. There's another grey colour in there. Let's get rid of that. So the other colour I'd chosen for the scarf was the egg yellow, which is this colour here, mixed with a tiny bit of brown, maybe too much brown in that case, and then some white. Oh, it's making a noise. I can't stand it when it does that. Let me stop it doing that. So egg yellow, white and brown. Stop it, it's moving around. There we go, that's better. Right, so this is going to be the other colour. Yep, so in order to join this up, we can either outline it in black or we just extend the colours, which I think extending the colours is probably the right thing to do. So if I just extend the burgundy on this side, actually I need a bit more colour there. And then we'll do that one there. So he's got his scarf. Yeah, I just need them to join up a bit. And it's probably easier to do it with the yellow, I think. And then that one there. And then we'll take the burgundy, I think, and we'll just join this one up to the rest of the scarf. There's a little gap in these cookie cutters because they sort of make them a little bit 3D in places. So when you're painting them, you've got to do a little bit of adapting here to kind of make it work, which is what we're doing on this live really. It's just making them work better. Let's just make sure we've gone over that. There we go. All right, so he's got his little scarf on there. There we go. Right, so we've done that. Now we're going to paint. Let's paint his uniform. So he's got, what did I write down for his socks? Hold on, grey socks. So he's got light grey socks. So if we put those in position first so that we don't miss them, because that's where you're probably going to end up missing them if you're not careful. There we go. So we'll grab some, we've got the grey colour here, we'll grab a bit of white and we'll mix up a light grey colour here. Hopefully you can still see this, yes you can. Grab a bit more cocoa butter. So light grey colour, so just grey with a bit more white in it. And then what we'll do is we'll paint this bit here that's raised. We'll call that his socks. Like so. Now he's got a little badge on. Am I going to focus on that little badge? Probably not. He's in, what's he in? Gryffindor, isn't he? So that's a little more green, I'd say, than, is it green for Gryffindor? I think it is. We'll ignore it for the moment. And we'll go back to the hair colour. Maybe it'd make it, no, it's going to be the same colour. We'll add a tiny bit more white in there for the moment. And then what we'll do is we'll paint his jacket. So we'll come down the side there. So his school uniform blazer is all this grey colour. So don't forget that's where his hands are there. I'm going to turn it so I can get in a little bit closer. And then it goes back up there again. Turn it back. And up there. Go, you can see it coming on quite nicely now when you look at the screen, can't you? It's coming together really nicely. There we go, and across there. I'm going to go straight over his badge. Like that. Be careful you don't go over his hand, because that's the bit that's nice, that's easy to go over. It's gone a bit dark there, hold on. Let's grab a tiny bit of white. Suddenly got dark on one side. And then round there. I'm going to turn it upside down for a second. So he's upside down for you and he's upside down for me too. And just put it into the... So when you paint this, it's got sort of ridges everywhere. You have to kind of push the paintbrush into the ridges to kind of get all the detail. Okay, down to his shoes. So we're staying inside the boundaries there. And then we'll go down to his shoes. We've got to paint around these socks. Like so. And then up the middle bit there. That will stand out anyway. You don't need to put any extra paint in there. And then you can just come across there. Like so. This is a great thing to do when it's this kind of weather and it's not very nice outside and you've got a few dark evenings ahead. We do beginners cocoa butter painting kits which are available on the website. So if you want to just sit and have a paint, this is a really nice way to spend the evening. And you can practice on this, or you can join one of my classes online and have a go at doing some of my beginners courses. There we go. So you can see how nice he's looking already. This is paintbrush number 1, Sheila, at the moment that I'm using. I will have to change over at some point, but at the moment that's the one I'm using. So if I've got to do that bit there, that's going to be a 0 brush because I need to be able to get my paintbrush in there to do it. I think this bit here should be black. So I'm just going to paint some of this down here because I'm looking up at the screen. And to me, that should be a darker colour. I'm going to pull that down there. And the same on this side as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a bit light at the moment because we've got a bit of a lighter colour going on, but we're going to shade in a second and then hopefully that will make a bit more sense. There we go, that's better. That's better. Right, okay, let's clean our brush again. And we will just do, actually we won't clean it just yet. We're going to do the centre of these eyes here. We're going to do that with paintbrush number 1. We've got the glasses to go, the dreaded glasses. Notice I'm hovering away from that. So I'm going to turn that right round so I can get my brush right in there without catching anything else. There we go. And then same again. Keep turning it round. How are we doing? There you go. That's looking all right, isn't it? Lovely. Right, paintbrush 0. So we've got paintbrush sets on our website, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Is this a 0? It says it is. Kelly's the one who always used like the 0 brushes, whereas I was more paintbrush number 1 is more me. I think that's a 0, 0, you know. Let's have a look at this one. So this is a 0 apparently. So we're going to take some of this sort of grey colour, so we don't want to make it too dark, and we're just going to put a little mouth in there. So there is a line that you can mark. Like so. Okay, so it's quite small, and then we're going to have a go at we'll do his lightning strike. So that is inside of this paste. Again, take your brush and follow the line like so, and then we're going to go round this bit. Now this could be slightly more tricky because his eyebrows are separate, I hope, from his glasses. I'm going to put his eyebrow in there, which is at the top of that line, and then there's another one over here. Is he looking cross? Do you know eyebrows can be really naughty? If you put eyebrows at a certain angle, they can look super cross. Harry Potter got cross. That's what this will be. And then we're going to do the glasses. So the edge of the glasses starts there, so it's going into his hair. And then I've done this in very dark grey, so I haven't done it in black. I'm just using the width of the brush just to kind of go around it. So I'm flattening the brush down as I go. Like so, breathing occasionally, of course. A little bit like doing royal icing. Occasionally you can breathe. There we go. And then we'll go across like so. Then we will go back round this glass here. So I've actually left a tiny gap between his glasses and his eyebrows. That isn't necessarily what's showing when you press this down, so I've had to adapt this slightly because I think it looks a bit better to have a gap between the glasses and the eyebrows. All right, otherwise it looks like the eyebrows or the glasses have got an extension on them. So just be very careful when you go around the glasses that you allow a bit of space between that and the eyebrows. You'll see what I mean when I turn it back round. Can you see there's a gap there? I think that's quite important. So make sure you kind of leave that gap, otherwise it's going to look a bit odd, I think. Right, so we've got the majority of the paint down. Let's get the background going, and then we'll come back and we'll do some shading on Harry, okay? You can always pipe the glasses if you prefer to use royal icing. So if, like Sheila says, you don't have a steady hand, then you can just use a piping bag and just pipe the glasses round. So I'm just going to use a bit of brown with a bit of white in it. Put too much white in it then, let's get a bit more going. I only meant to put a tiny bit in there, put a great big globule of it in there. And you can see around the outside edge of this there is a gap. So we're going to take hold of paintbrush number 1 and we're going to paint now. Actually, I've not taken the hair right up to the line. So I've got a choice here. I can either take the paint a bit further out, which I probably will do in a second. As you paint this, it becomes a bit clearer. So there's nothing wrong with sort of painting a bit and then going back and sort of adding to it. So I'm going to go back and add a bit more hair in a minute. But for now, I'm just going to get this background in. So I'm going to come round here. Along this side. So you'll see there's a white gap there, but I'm not worried about that for the minute. That will all be transformed in a second. In fact, I'll transform it now so that we can get that bit covered. So let's dip that brush that had burgundy on it into the cocoa butter and get that cleaned up. So we can go back to like a dark grey colour. His hair colour, in other words. And then we'll grab a bit of that, and then all we'll do is we'll just drop the colour into the gap so it joins up with the background. So when you do this, there's like ridges everywhere. You'll see what I mean when you do it. You'll feel that there's a ridge. And it's a job to work out where to start and stop colours. So once you start putting background colours in, it becomes a bit more clearer what you need to do. So it's becoming clear now. There we go. And then back here. And actually, because there's two dark colours together, it doesn't actually matter if you sort of clip it too much. And again, you can always overpaint it if you need to. But we want to get him on a background here, I think. So we can see he stands out more then. Right, you need to be careful here because that's obviously where his hair and his head are. So just be careful you don't paint over his ear. You need to go around that. Around to there. Better to be a little bit cautious at this point with this colour because obviously it's quite a strong colour. And if you were to accidentally paint part of the face, it would be more tricky to undo than any of the other colours, for example. So to paint a dark colour over a colour that should be, say, flesh colour is going to be tricky. So it's really important, especially at the start when you get that hand colour in, to make sure you know it's there. Because going back over that could be very tricky indeed. Not impossible, but just a bit more trickier than you'd like it to be. So there we go. Right, let's go around. So they're also, if you notice, I'm going right down on the side of the piece of sugar paste as well because it's quite deep. So I'm going across the top and down the side. And you'll tend to notice that, especially if you stand him up, you'll notice that you'll need to cover that little bit there as well. So just be careful that you don't miss those bits. It's only afterwards when you finish and you go, no, and you can see where there's a gap. That's really annoying. So we want to make sure we've done that. So again, across there. The side there. A little bit more paint. And, oh, there we go. Right, we've got to be careful. So going around his ear again. There's his ear there. Make sure I don't dissolve his ear. There we go. Like so. So we've painted a background on him so he's sort of standing out a bit further now. So I think that looks quite nice, doesn't it? That's coming on quite nicely. So while that's drying, we'll go back to Harry himself and we'll have a look at his hair. So first thing we're going to do is we'll go back to paintbrush 1 and we'll make this now much darker. So we'll just add some black to the original colour that we've got. And then what we'll do is we'll put in some actual hair. So we'll make the hair like proper hair. So we'll, you see that, only just. And let's see if we can make it a little bit more obvious. I'll hold it up so you can see it in a second, but I'm basically just taking this paintbrush and just moving it across the paste so it looks like hair. Is that coming out? Let me show you what's happening here. Okay, there we go. Let's try and get you the best angle I can without it shining. You can see it's gone from flat to having a bit of texture about it on there, like so. I'm going to keep going now. I'll have to put it back down again because I can't do it without laying him down. So then we'll go this way because his hair's changing direction. Down like that. There you go, so then it doesn't look too flat. Slightly difficult to see because the light's shining on it a bit, but I will show you towards the end. I'm going to just put in a little bit of black on its own. Yeah, and then that'll just contrast it a little bit more. There we go. I picked up a bit of white then. So it's just basically just flicking the colour all over his hair. Like that. That's better. It's looking a bit more rogue now. Right, let's go with this grey colour. Let's go along the edge of this scarf here because the scarf looks a bit untidy at the moment. We're just going to put a darker line going around the edge of it. And across there. Now, dare I go under his chin? Oh, now I definitely need a steady hand, so I am going to go under his chin with paintbrush 1. That's okay, I've done it. And now I'm going to come down between. And then that way as well. There. Okay. Go, that's all right. And then what we'll do is we'll put a bit of shading on his school uniform. So his school uniform at the moment is sort of, well, let's make his shoes a bit darker to start with. So let's go down there and we'll put some extra colour on there and we'll just blot it around a little bit. And let's put the bit more dark down there. And I'll just blend that in a bit. And then we'll put that centre line in so we're sure we can see the difference between his boots. There we go. I'm having a look to see what you can see, and then we'll go down the side of his little jacket. Again, we'll just bring that in a little bit. And the same on this side. Bring that in a little bit. Just trying to create a bit of shadow really, just so it doesn't look too flat. And then I think we'll do a darker line along there. Just show some distinction between those two there. Yeah, that's working. That's good. And then what we'll do is we'll just go around the edge here. So it sort of could be grey, could be black, could be grey, could be brown there. It's a bit of a tricky one. So we'll go grey, and then at least we're being consistent, I guess. There we go, look at him. You're loving him, aren't you? Right, okay, let's have another think about this. So we've got that far. We are going to, let me have a look. Let's just go around his glasses again, but in neat black. But we'll just do it on one side, I think. Let's see what that happens there. You can be a bit braver now, you see. Now you've got your confidence up, you can come in and go with the full black. But I'm actually not going to, because I've got the grey underneath, to actually not have full black. Gives it a bit of contrast, I think. There we go. And then we'll just go across that line there. Across that top of that bit there and there as well. Yes, you have got those in, haven't you? Right, and then we'll make his eyes a little bit darker. Just blot them in. Now, if you were doing this for Valentine's Day, for example, what could you do? Let's say you decided to do this for Valentine's Day. So you could paint this all up. You know, there's bound to be someone out there who loves Harry Potter. You could take a little red piece of sugar paste and you could cut out a little red heart and you could pop it in his hand. That would look nice, wouldn't it? And he could be holding that. So if you've got a Harry Potter fan out there, I've got a bit of pink here. It's not quite the same as what I was thinking, but you could make a little heart that he could be holding, that you could give to somebody. That would work quite nicely. Where's my brush? I'm going to bring his hair down a bit further, I've decided, because I think that needs to come into that gap. The more I look at it, the more I'm thinking it needs to be in the gap. But not near the eyebrow. I don't want to interfere with that eyebrow. I'm having to adapt a little bit here. That's better. Kept looking at it thinking, where's that going? That's going there. That's better. Put the lines back in again. Right, we don't want Harry Potter to look completely washed out. So what we'll do is we'll take a bit of, just going to clean my brush up again. Make sure I get all the colours out. Grab a little bit of my pink. Got a bit of pink on this side. And I might just dab a little bit. Gosh, I've got to be carefully because I don't want to put down too much and then regret it. Nothing worse than doing that. Let's find a brush that's actually clean. Is that clean? Just dab a little bit of colour on his cheeks, just so he's not completely... So he's been running round the Forbidden Forest, that kind of look. But also blend it at the same time because we don't want it to be... There you go, that's better. Right, now once this bit is dried in the middle, which pretty much it has, let's turn this around and we're going to mix up some white. So I'm definitely got to clean my brush because it's got, let's see if I've got a brush that doesn't actually have black in it, that would be handy. Oh, that's got a bit of pink in it, so that's okay. And then we'll grab some of this white. So I'm starting to run out of cocoa butter here, but in theory I should add a bit more, but I think I'm not far off finishing him, so I probably won't. And I'm just going to mix up a little bit of white paint. And there. There we go, that's better. Right, and then we're going to use a dotting tool, which I definitely got out. There it is. So these are the dotting tools. These are like used for nail art. So they have very tiny little balls on the end of them. If I hold them near Harry's head, you'll be able to see them. And then turn it over, there's a little one on the other side. So there's different sizes. And if you take a hold of them and you just put the cocoa butter in it, you can then press it into the eye. which will immediately brighten up the eye, as you can see. I'm going to turn it over the other way and do a little one next to it today, I think. Yes. So I'm using two sides of the dotting tools tonight. So one side for a bigger dot and one side for a little dot. You can actually push them in a bit further if you want to. So if you wanted to make the dots a little bit bigger, you would push it in a bit further. You can also use the dotting tool to make little buttons. So if I just wanted to make buttons down the front of his little jacket, I can just take some grey and just put some little buttons in position there. Just make sure they've gone in. Again, you can just push down a little bit further if you want to make those buttons any bigger. I'm going to just take hold of another brush here. I'm going to make his shoes a bit darker because I'd like them to stand away from the outfit really. So I'm just going to tidy those up a little bit. And then I think pretty much he's there. I think he's come to life now with his eyes. That always makes all the difference. Just tidy him up round his hand. And then what I'll do is I'll put him on a board so you can see him a little bit clearer. You can spend a bit of time doing the badge if you want to. I mean, he's in Slytherin, isn't it? No, he's not. He's in Gryffindor, which I think is green. So I think what I'll try and do is I will try and put a little bit of what green did I pick up? Moss green. If I can put a tiny bit of moss green in there, turn his badge green. Oh yeah, that works. Look, I can make his badge look a little bit green. I'm getting fussy now. I can't help myself. Once I get going on things like this, I just want to pick it to pieces and make it as best as I possibly can. So I'm just going to go around the outside edge of his little badge. So it will just be green. Unless somebody's going to correct me and tell me I've got the wrong colour, but I think it is green. And then we'll just underline along there and underline that again. I'm fiddling now. There we go. Right, okay, stop fiddling. Right, let me move that out the way and I'm going to grab the green board so we can hold it up and have a little look at it a bit closer. Come on, Harry. Right, there he is. Let's see, if I take it in nice and close, you will be able to see all the detail I've done on there. So we've used the Harry Potter cookie cutter, which comes as a set of 3. So it's Harry Potter, Hermione and Ron. This is Harry. He has got, started with a dark grey colour base for his hair, which we then made darker. So we put some sort of hairlines in place, which you can just about see. The pale flesh colour we used was cream, white, and then a very small amount of pink. Then we did his eyebrows in a sort of lighter grey colour, just so that they weren't too harsh. If you paint them in dark or in black, it's going to be too much. His scarf was done in burgundy with a little bit of white, and then we did egg yellow mixed with a little bit of brown to do his scarf. There's his little hands down there, same colour as his face. And then we put some grey socks on him and some black shoes. So we've made his shoes a little bit darker. And then I painted all around the outside edge with brown. So how easy was that? He's not difficult to do. I've been live 53 minutes. I reckon you could do this easily in 40 without me chattering away in the background. Having said that, if you want to follow along at another time, you can go back and do Harry Potter. Do make sure you've got some nice thin brushes. You are going to struggle to do things like the lightning bolt and also the glasses. If you don't have a thin brush, it's going to be extremely difficult for you. So remember I said to you at the start there were paintbrushes on my website. You're going to need paintbrush 0 and paintbrush 1 to do this, no question about it. Paintbrush 2 is helpful because obviously it covers a larger surface area, particularly for things like the hair, but when you're going in for the detail like the lightning bolt, you will need that 0 brush. Paintbrush 1 is the one I've used the most. Then of course I use the dotting tools to do the little buttons on his jacket and the little pieces in his eye as well. It's really nice, isn't it, when you oh, here we go. But badge golden red is Slytherin, is it? Well, I've done green. He's not in Slytherin, is he? I've done green. So green, and yeah, I've done green. That's okay. He's in the right house. I don't want to get in trouble with the Harry Potter fans. I'll be in big trouble otherwise. Yeah, it's definitely green, I'm sure, for Gryffindor, isn't it? Is it green? Badge of gold and red, Slytherin. No, I think Gryffindor is green. Hufflepuff is yellow. What's the other one? I've forgotten what the other one's called now. Ravenclaw. That's the badger, isn't it? No, I'm sure it's okay. Someone's going to correct me in a minute. Okay, let's wait, see if someone's going to correct me. Someone tell me, please, what colour the Gryffindor badge is, and I'll make sure I've got it wrong. What colour is the Gryffindor badge? Somebody write it, and then I've got it right. Vanessa's going to tell me whether I've got it right or wrong in a minute. So, and then I can put it right if I've got it wrong. So it's gold and red for Gryffindor. Oh gosh, I better change it quickly then. Right, come on, let's give him and let's change his badge quick then, because I don't want to get anybody. What's green then? Is that What's green? Is that Ravenclaw? Well, I'm just going to use the burgundy. Look, I can paint straight over the top of it. And this brilliant demonstration shows you that you can easily change something. How about that? That's good, isn't it? Yeah, you're not in Slytherin, Harry. Oh, you'd be in trouble if you are. I'll tell you what else we use. A bit of bright gold. So we use some of this Wonder Dust bright gold stuff, which is brilliant. We do have some in stock. I noticed it was out of stock on Sugar and Crumbs the other day. We've got some, I think. I'm sure I've seen it. There we go. We've got to be correct here. Green is Slytherin. Blue is Ravenclaw. Yellow is Hufflepuff. Right. Okay, so let's get this right. So we're going to put a little bit of gold around the outside edge of his badge. There we go. That's better. Now you're in the right house. So we don't get in trouble. So if I put this online and somebody spots it, oh dear. There we go. Happy days. Let's bring that up a bit so you can see it now. There you go. He's in the right house now. I'm not painting any more detail on it than that. That's it. So he can have red with a gold outline. That suits me, I think. I think that's probably the right thing to do. So there we go. So that's how you paint the Harry Potter cookie cutter from PME. It is available on the website, along with all the Harry Potter cookie cutters. If you have joined me late, you can go back and watch this video once it's finished. Once the live's completed, you'll be able to go back and watch it and go from there. And I will put it on my it will be on YouTube as well, so you'll be able to go back and watch it on there. Thank you very much to Vanessa for helping me get this right, because I cannot remember a thing. The minute you go live and all the cameras come on, I forget everything, and I couldn't think for the life of me I knew what house he was in, but I just couldn't think what colour it was. So, and it's been a long day, you know, and I've got another live to go yet. So it's I'm on live number 2 this evening. Got 3 of them this evening, so it's very busy tonight. So there we go. Right, let's come back on screen. There we go. So that completes another one of the Harry Potter cookie cutters that I've demonstrated. So we've done Harry, we've done the crest, we have done... You don't get Harry Potter on his own, Sheila. No, he comes with Hermione and Ron as one set. Oh, hold on. I'll bring them over. Here they are. No, they all come together. I will put them on so you can see them. So there's Ron and there's Hermione, which I probably will paint at some point because they do look like loads of fun. And I've got to be honest, you could probably turn her into a princess or something, or could use these for anything, couldn't you? They're really quite sweet. But no, they do come in a set of 3. The others don't. This is the only one that's in a set of 3. Are the characters for Harry Potter. So there we go. So yes, I'm going to carry on working my way through the Harry Potter cookie cutters. She says looking over there, because that's where they are, behind my camera. There is a dark mark. Actually, that would be quite nice for Halloween, I thought, looking at it. There is also the train as well, and I'm quite keen to paint the train next, so I will probably do that next. So I will set another live. The same as before, once you see a post go up for a live, make sure you click going or interested, because then Facebook will remind you that there is going to be a live, and then you have the option to join or not join, or join at a later time. It's entirely up to you, or go across to my YouTube channel and check it out there. So if you see the live there, you can always go back and watch it at any time. If you go into the live section of the videos, you will find them there. You have to actually go into the lives to find them, but that's where the Harry Potter ones will be. So if you want to go back and look at them after that. If you want to join the Cake School, of course, online, there we go, that's where that is. So it's tracymanncakeschool.co.uk. So if you want to learn all about cocoa butter painting, then you're very welcome to come over and join us on there. So we charge £12.50 per month for access to all my classes. We have about 105 or 6 classes now. The majority of them are about cocoa butter painting, but there are also lots of other ones as well in terms of sugar craft, so wedding cakes, royal icing, love royal icing. We've had loads of royal icing projects recently, and also chocolate paste and airbrushing and loads of other bits and pieces on there. If you want to make a semi-naked wedding cake, all of those things, we have a school packed with lots of information. So if you fancy joining us, then do pop over and have a look at it. You can buy your classes or you can join as a monthly member. As a monthly member, you get access to more classes, but do have a look at it and you'll be very welcome to join. In the meantime, if you do want to get the Harry Potter cookie cutters, probably the easiest place to find them is on Let's Shop Cake Live. If you go across to that site, scroll down, you'll find the Harry Potter cookie cutters on there. We've got plenty in stock at the moment. There are quite a few of them. I think we're holding maybe 10 different designs, so they are, and they're not too expensive either. They're fairly reasonable. So if you do want to have a go at doing some of the Harry Potter stuff that I've done, then please do have a look at those as well. Right, so I will put another post up soon about when I'll be live doing the next Harry Potter paint. We'll work our way through the series nice and slowly. But thank you very much for everyone that has joined me this evening. And I hope I will be back again soon doing some more demonstrations for you. So take care. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in, and I'll see you all again soon.